Yeah, good evening to all. It is with great pleasure that I welcome you all this FDP. I am delighted to see so many dedicated educators and leaders from various disciplines gathered here today. Your presence, significance, and commitment not just to personal growth but also to the advancement of our institution mission to provide higher quality education. I encourage each of you to take full advantage of this opportunity and engage actively and ask the questions, share your thoughts. Remember, we learn not only from our instruction but also from each other. So we have to build strong community of practices will not only enrich our learning experiences but also reinforce our commitment to excellence in the education. Thank you once again for being here, and I hope you find the FTP enlightening and rewarding. Let us make the most of our time together. I'll be start, and I have to give it a short introduction about our chief guest and great speaker, Dr. Because currently working as an associate professor in the School of Electronics Engineering, Vellore Institute of Technology. He received his PhD degree in Electronics Engineering from Seonbuk National University, South Korea in the year of 2018. His master degree in VLSI Design and UG graduation in Electronics and Communication Engineering from the Anna University, Chennai in the year of 2013 and 2010 respectively. Currently working in the Department of Micro and Nano Electronics, he had published various research articles in SEI and SEIE journals, international conference and book chapter. He is also an active member in several professional societies. He has been awarded Prime Korea Doctoral Scholarship during the academic year 2014 to 2018. He was invited to give numerous guest lectures at various places around India on innovative topics. And his area of interest include the modeling memory resistor, analysis and design of memory resistive system in electronics and neuro circuits, memory resistor based VLSI circuit and artificial intelligence. And thank you once again thank you very much, sir, for accepting our FTP resource person in the title of effective communication and interpersonal skill. Now I will hand over the session to the Dr. R. Vechiveeran, our resource person. Sir, he will be taking, and we are very eagerly waiting for your presentation. Thank you so much for that. Thank you, sir.
Thank you so much for my detailed introduction, sir. Is my voice is audible, sir? Is there any issue in my voice?
Yes, sir.
Okay. Thank you so much, sir. Can I start my presentation, sir?
Yeah. Yeah, you can share it, sir.
Yes, sir. Is my PPT is visible, sir?
Yes, sir. Yes.
I think I cannot able to change the slide. Okay, I will share the screen. So can you see my slide, sir?
Yes, sir. Yes.
Hello?
Yes, sir, you can continue.
Yeah. Is my slide is visible, sir? Hello?
It's visible, sir.
Yeah.
Yes, sir.
Yes,
Okay,
sir.
thank you so much. Okay, so actually, sir has given me a detailed introduction about me. So actually, this topic is like related to communication. It is not related actually to my research. My topic is on effective communication and interpersonal skills. So actually, at the beginning, I will be telling more about effective communication and bit about interpersonal skills. So let me go to the slide. So first, what is meant by interpersonal communication and what is meant by interpersonal skills? So this interpersonal communication is the process by which people uh, communicate between themselves, like in the form of messages, feelings, and it may be through verbal or non-verbal. And we also going to see about what are the digital communication tools available. Actually, this interpersonal communication is not just about what is said, but how it is said, and non-verbal messages sent through tone of voice, facial expressions, gestures, and body language. Actually, this what are the there are some now I will directly go to this topic. So interpersonal skills and effective communication. In that effective communication, there are three topics: verbal, non-verbal, and what are the when by digital communication. What are the digital communication tools available today? So, so actually, each and everyone has to develop this interpersonal skills. So sometimes this interpersonal skills is also called as soft skills or people skills. These tools are key to create and maintain a successful career in his life. So one has to learn about all these tools in this digital era. Everyone has to know about this. So actually, my slides are divided into this 13 essential interpersonal skills. The first one is about communication. Second one is about active learning. Third one is about emotional intelligence. Fourth one is about intelligence. Fifth one is persuasion. Sixth one is decision making. Seventh one is teamwork. Then collaboration. Then objective effectiveness, problem solving, conflict resolution, negotiation, and finally tolerance. So my slides will be based upon these 13 topics. I will in detail I will explain about communication. So we already saw communication. So communication means exchange of information, maybe verbal or non-verbal. So exchange of information. So one has to understand whatever you speak, others has to understand. So there are various ways of communication. One is verbal communication, non-verbal communication, and digital communication. So we'll see this one by one. I will be concentrating this topic more because this has to be understood deeply. So I just given more importance to this. So some quotes on communication. The art of communication is the language of leadership. To listen well is a powerful means of communication, and influence has to talk well. We have 2 ears and one mouth so that we can listen twice as much we speak. So, what is communication? It is a human connection. It is the key to personal and career success. Why communication is important? So, it is important for expressing the information, behavior, our feelings, and our thoughts. So, it helps to understand and responds to others' feelings, thoughts, knowledge, and behavior. So, what is meant by effective communication? How to make an effective communication? So, actually, we can divide into two parts: effective plus communication. What is effective? Successful in producing the desired result. So, communication means exchanging information. Okay, we will be exchanging information in order to produce a desired results. This is what effective communication. So actually, these types of communication is divided into three types. Were non-verbal. Verbal is about face-to-face communication. Then telephonic communication. Then non-verbal communication is based on body language, gestures, emotions. So all these things comes under non-verbal. Then next one is written. Written communication, like in the form of sending messages, emails, books, and this is comes under written communication. Another one is visualization, that is in the form of graphs, charts, and maps. Again, this communication is divided into two parts. According to this verbal, non-verbal, written, visualization, we have two types. One is formal communication, another one is informal communication. So, what is formal communication? So you can see there is a boss sitting there, and he is communicating with his workers. He is telling something. So nothing but it is a process of exchanging information. I think so. It is a process of exchanging information by following some prescribed rules or official rules. That is formal communication. This formal communication comes from like this. There are three types of formal communication inside the organization. One is a down arrow, up arrow, and the horizontal arrow. So this downward represents messages will come from through a chain of signs. That is from manager to the employee. So that is downward arrow. Upward arrow represents it is from employee to the boss, and horizontal represents messages flow laterally between people of the same rank. Like if I am working in some college, I and with the same grade, I am talking to some faculties, discussing something that comes under the horizontal communication, horizontal way of formal communication. So, what is informal communication? Informal, it is nothing but a spontaneous exchange of information among various peoples of different status. Means we will be talking with our friends, relatives. So, okay, informally, like close friends will be talking with our family members. So, all this comes under informal way of communication. Then this informal communication networks consist of chain like A, B, C, D, something Y, then gossiping, then cluster. All this comes under like chain will comes under formal. This gossiping, cluster, all these things comes under informal way of communication. So examples of appropriate situations so that we can say which is formal and informal. So for example, in informal, we are sending a message to a friend, birthday card for a relative, tweet or status. So if we want to write the same thing in the form of written, then we'll be emailing to your professor, resume and cover letter. All these things comes under formal communication. Then verbal communication means if you consider about verbal, skipping with a sibling, but an informal. Family dinner, it is an informal way of communication. While having dinner, we'll be talking something, gossiping something. So if you write it in the same way, like teaching, job interview, in class presentation, all these things are examples for formal communication, formal way of communicating in verbal communication. Then let us consider the scenario of formal and informal communication styles. This is the scenario. You want to confirm that you have an appointment with a professor after the class. You have some appointment with your professor after the class. This is the scenario. So if you are talking to your friend, how can you say, "Hey, we still have meeting today with our professor, Dr. J." Like that, we will say informally. Suppose if you want to send that to your professor, then how can you ask? So in this way, you can ask, "Hello, Dr. Jones. I just want to confirm that we are having a meeting today at 4 p.m. Does that still work for you? Still, is the date is changed?" In this formally, we can communicate. Then another one scenario: you are supposed to meet your friend, but she is 45 minutes late. You want to send a text message, so you can send a text message in informally. How can you say, "Hey, where are you? I am already here. Now it is already 3. Where are you?" Like that, we can send message. So if you want to send a same formal message, like some X person, please update me on where you are about, and I am concerned that you haven't arrived for 3 p.m. workout. Best wishes, Taylor. So in this formally, you can send a message to the same person. So actually, in communication, the total communication is divided into these four parts like reading, writing, speaking, and listening. So you can see that reading has more percentage, listening has more percentage, about 45%. Writing is about 9%. Reading is 16%, and speaking is 30%. So you can see listening is having a higher percentage compared to all the four parts. Then when you do communication, there are seven C's you should understand. First one is courteous, concise, complete, correct, clear, consideration, and confident. So I will tell you about this seven C's in decision making. So in the upcoming slides in detail about this. So this you should know about this seven C's for good communication. So we have already saw about this verbal, non-verbal, and digital communication. This verbal communication is oral or written. We'll be saying something like speaking, listening, writing. All this comes under verbal communications. So actually, this verbal communication is also of four types, like public communication, small group communication, intrapersonal communication, and interpersonal communication. So we'll see all these things one by one. Public communication. So public communication is nothing but in you can see some 1 lakh people are standing there in order to uh, listen to your lecture. For example, a prime minister addressing the public. Okay, election campaigns. All this comes under public communication. Then small group communication, like in this within two or more people will be engaged, like school meetings, board meetings. All these things comes under small group communication. The next one is intrapersonal communication. So intrapersonal communication is it is within among ourselves, or it is also called as internal communication. Like like we'll be solo speaking, solo writing, solo dancing, concentration. All these things comes under interpersonal communication. Sorry, intrapersonal.
हेलो.
Sir, yes.
हाँ.
Hello, hello, hello. Can you hear, sir?
हाँ तो खाना बना के लेके आइएगा.
Okay. So next one is interpersonal communication. So it is
हेलो.
between us and others over the channel. So it may be face-to-face communication or online communication, video conferencing.
हम डाल देंगे, यहाँ आ जाएंगे तो खाने के लिए दे देंगे.
So interpersonal skills are essential whether we are a manager or an employee or for looking for work. This interpersonal skills is most essential. So we have to learn about this interpersonal skills. So this non-verbal communication we already discussed. Like means we won't be speaking. We'll be using some gestures. So that is non-verbal communication. So verbal communication we will interchange the words, whereas non-verbal communication we don't interchange words, but we have some other modes. So what are the modes? So there are types of what are the types of non-verbal communication is facial expressions, gestures, body language and posture, eye contact. All these things comes under non-verbal communication. So do you know this signs? You might have saw this in many places in roads. So all these things you can see the first row. The first one represents telephone. The second one represents the airport is nearby, and then this plus represents the hospital. So there are so many things you might have known, but you cannot able to pick. So all these things comes under non-verbal communication. There we won't be speaking words, and the 10 represents the like beds in the hospital. Then 9 represents the airport. So all these things. So we'll see what are those things. So the answers. Does anyone know about all these things? Then 20 represents the metro railway station. Then 21 represents bus stand. 22 represents the bus stand. So all these things. So what are the answers for this? It is given here. So first row, first one represents the telephone, airport ahead, then post office, first aid box. So all these things comes under non-verbal communication, where we don't use words. Instead, we use some symbols or gestures or postures. So like that, we'll be using for non-verbal communication. So these are all the major components in non-verbal communication. First one is eye contact, facial expressions, territoriality, time, environment, posture, appearance. So all these things comes under non-verbal communication. First one is eye contact. So when you are communicating, when you use this non-verbal, means tells how perceive yourself compared to that other. When you are talking to some person, you should have some proper eye contact. So by seeing the proper eye contact, you will have this. It indicates a sign of non-verbal communication. Then facial expressions. It means determine what people are thinking and what are their feelings. Like words and facial expressions can be contradictory. For example, someone is telling that in suppose if you talk to your friend, like suppose one person is living in India and another person is living in USA. Suppose your friend's father died or something happened, but you want to tell that to him, but like you will be talking to him, he cannot come from that USA to here. So how can you say that? So he will say that everything is fine. So which means actually it is some kind of he cannot by talking it is kind of verbal. So like this means by using the facial expression we can say that is someone is telling that everything is fine, but his face is looks so sad, which means by seeing his face he is talking like he is talking everything is fine, but his face shows that it is not fine. So this is facial expression. Then appearance. So you can see the two pictures. The first one represents they dressed very well and looks like they are going for some company interview. And when you see the second figure, it does not looks like something you'll be in home, you'll be using lungi, and you'll be going outside. So that kind of figure. So first, this all these things comes under non-verbal communication. So the other one is posture. So posture represents different types of feelings and attitudes. So for in the top first figure, you can see one who is sitting in this kind of posture. So one person is he is the boss, and he is his assistant. His boss is sitting, putting his leg over his two legs, and he is telling something to his assistant, and she is carefully listening. So this is nothing but some posture, which means I am the boss, you are my assistant. So like that kind of posture. And this one is also some. These are all some of the gestures that comes under postures that comes under non-verbal communication. Then it also comes out of environment. The way you arrange the space around you conveys a message about you. Example, round table, and then time. So for example, if we have a meeting, punctuality is also a tool of non-verbal communication. So arriving 10 minutes early to the meeting, so means that you are organized, and you can have a good communication. Then terri- territoriality, which means some people never talk. They think that they want to make a distance between another. So for that kind of people, we should have some. We should maintain some distance, so that their personal we should not involve in their personal things. So this also comes under this kind of non-verbal communication. So in order to have efficient communication, so we should have a these are all the summary of all these things whatever I have said. So we need to establish a good eye contact, use your posture to support your words, then structure your environment so that you can send the right message, and pay attention to the other people's what they say, and ask questions to make sure whether they are understood the right thing, and be careful of cultural differences in non-verbal messages. Pay attention to the appearance, practice and observe the non-verbal messages you send, adapt the situation, update your knowledge of non-verbal communication. By comparing this, by analyzing these 10 steps, by viewing these 10 steps, you can have a good way of non-verbal communication. Then also in this communication, forget about verbal and non-verbal. You need to understand this 6 WHs. So before speaking to anyone, we should ask ourselves, why am I communicating? So we should find why, with whom, how, what, where, and when. So before speaking, we should ask ourselves, why am I communicating? Why, where am I communicating? So how should I communicate? What am I communicating? With whom am I communicating? So all these things we should ask ourselves, so that we will have a will become a good communicator. So this is the basic difference between verbal and non-verbal communication. So verbal communication, exchange of information using words, whereas there is no exchange of information using words. This communication medium consists of voice languages, but here facial expressions, body language. So all these things I have discussed. So this verbal medium verbal communication requires single medium, whereas non-verbal uses multiple mediums. Examples of verbal and non-verbal communications are: verbal uses face-to-face, audio, video, whereas non-verbal uses movements, expressions, gestures, postures. All these things comes under non-verbal communications. I hope you understood about verbal and non-verbal communications clearly. I'm going on to the next topic, digital communication. So, what are the digital communication technologies which is available today? So, first, what is meant by digital? So, word the digital comes from the Latin word digit and digitus. So, which means fingers. So, the digital means in the Latin word it is called as fingers. Okay, so this what are the digital communication tools are available? So what is digital communication? So digital communication uses technology, so technology to share the information, to exchange information. Then digital communication can be written, verbal, visual, or audible. Digital communication tools are the digital tools that allow people to communicate with each other digitally. So these are all the digital communication tools which is available. You can see PC, mobile phones, laptops, tablets. All these things are comes under digital communication. So these are all the other tools. So Bluetooth smartwatch connect to any Bluetooth device. Then vehicle tracking device can also be tracked driving safely, and then GPS device, and then Bluetooth key or a wallet tracker using mobile. So all these things, these are all some of the handheld and wearable devices that can be used for digital communication. Then why we need to use digital communication? Because we can use this digital communication. It is not expensive. We can see, hear, we can talk with the family, everything like digital communications, like international locations. We can talk to anywhere in the world, but with no travel involved. Then real-time connection means synchronous. Whatever you are speaking, he also can hear. Whatever he speaks, the other person also can hear. It is inexpensive, using simple mobiles. So these because of this, we use digital communication. Then what are the digital communication tools, and what are the meant by synchronous and asynchronous communication? So synchronous communication means at the same time both the persons can talk. For example, Skype, Snapchat, texting on your phone, these things. Then asynchronous communication means like you cannot have the information at the same time. Example, email, then Google Documents, all these things comes under asynchronous communication. Because email and all you cannot chat at the same time. So that comes under asynchronous communication. So what are some of the, let us see some of the DCT tools, digital communication technology tools. So what are these are all some of the examples, like emailing uses computers, texting you use cell phones, fax, teleconferencing, video conferencing. All this comes under digital communication technologies. So you know very well about mail. It is often called as electronic mail. It is used to email is a store and forward method. We can send, we can read, we can save the messages through computers. We all know that. Then next one is texting. It is also a kind of digital communication, like SMS service, short message service. All those things comes under digital. So SMS is easy. SMS is easy, unlike an email, because we can read that SMS at any time, at instantly, but we cannot read emails. We will not check email oftenly. Rarely we can check. Means after one day something we can check. But SMS means we can read the messages instantly. Then SMS can be done using simple mobiles. So no need of any technologies. Simple mobile we can. It is very cheaper way of communication. Then next one is fax. Fax is a document sent over the telephone. It is also a kind of digital communication tool. Then video conferencing. So what is video conferencing? Like one person is talking, like I am doing video conferencing to you people. It is an example for video conferencing using Google Meet or something. Google Meet also has some kind of tool. Skype is also some kind of digital technology tool. All these things comes under digital communication. Then teleconferencing, using telephone meetings. So all these things comes under digital communication. Then I'm moving on to the second part. Up to this, I'm finishing about communication, verbal, non-verbal, and what are the digital communication tools available today. So now I am in that 13 steps, 13 interpersonal skills. I'm going to the second one. The second one is active listening. What is active listening? So means it is nothing but hearing the words from other person and also seeking to understand what he is speaking and what is the intent behind him. So it involves the active participation in communication process. So this active learning includes verbal and non-verbal non-verbal messages. So what are the active learning classrooms? So we will be, I think you might have learned about active learning classrooms in the previous lectures. I think there are various active learning lectures. Beyond that, students go by using this active learning. Students go beyond listening, copying of notes. Beyond this, they can do these things. So the important tools which is used for active learning is 3-step interview, jigsaw, 3-minute review, book ends, think, pair, share. So there are so many active learning techniques are used, but it is difficult to cover all these techniques. So I will explain only about think, pair, and share. So who created this think, pair, share? So actually it is a 3-step paired cooperative procedure. It was developed by Dr. Frank in 1981. So first think, then pair, and then share. So let us see an example. First you will be thinking, and we will be based on our thinking. We will be pairing the ideas. Then after pairing, we are getting some conclusion. After getting some conclusion, and we are sharing to the others. So that is nothing but think, pair, share. So that students can engage in an activity. Students will, instead of normal teaching in our class, we will be teaching something, but students, we don't know whether they are listening or not. But if you conduct these kind of activities like think, pair, share, we will give some scenario. Based on that scenario, so give some topic. Based on the topic, they have to think. Means you need to create some 3-4 people in a group. They have to think. For thinking, some group of people. For pairing, and then sharing, one or two person has to share. So if you do like that, all the students will be actively engaged in actively participate in listening. So this is one of the active learning tool. So along with that, there are various other tools. We don't have time to cover all these things, so I have just covered only these things. Then coming to the third part, emotional intelligence. So what is this emotional intelligence? It is the ability to understand the way people feel and react and monitor your own state to make a good judgments and to avoid or solve the problems. The building blocks of this emotional intelligence are self-regulation, which is managing your feelings, emotions, and behavior in healthy ways, including adapting when necessary, self-awareness, knowing your strengths and weakness. All these things comes under emotional intelligence. So means when you speak something, how the other people will react, and how will you make a good judgments, and how will you solve the problem, or how will you avoid the problem. All these things comes under this emotional intelligence. So you can see the regular intelligence and emotional intelligence. What is regular intelligence? It is the ability to learn new concepts and apply your knowledge to the problems. That is regular intelligence. Then what is emotional intelligence? The ability to manage both your own emotions and understand the emotions of people around you. So emotional intelligence means you need to understand your own emotions, and you should also give some time for other people also, other people emotions also. You should think about that. So that is nothing but emotional intelligence. The next one is relational intelligence. It was yes, good thing said by Adam Bendelli. So it is ability to successfully connect the people and build strong, long-lasting relationship. Okay. So there are 5 essential skills you need to build this relational intelligence. So those five essential skills are it is there, but I have skipped this because I don't have time. So those five essential skills are uh, in encompassing establishing good rapport, understanding others. These are all those five essential skills. I'm not going to tell in detail. First one is establishing good rapport, understanding others, embracing individual differences, developing trust, cultivating influence, and serving others. So these are all the five essential skills about relational intelligence. The next one is persuasion. What is persuasion? It is a process of communication that is intended to induce belief or action and of moving others by arguments to a position or a particular course of action, either temporarily or permanently. This persuasion is believed to be both an art and a science. So let us, if I say like this, you will be like, uh, you will be in a confusion state. You don't understand what is meant by this persuasion. Persuasion means like telling some others that this like suppose if you want to suppose if you suppose let us take an example. So some you want to buy something, fridge. Let us take an example. You want to buy fridge, but you may ask others like which platform is good, whether in the shop it will be less cost, or in Amazon or in Flipkart. So which one is good one? Then if you ask to your friend, then he will persuade you that you buy in Amazon. Better in the shops, when compared to shops in Amazon, you will get lot of offers. So you will have less cost compared to buying in the shops. So like that they will persuade you. So that is nothing but persuasion. Let us take an similar to that. Let us take one simple scenario behind this. So let us take an example. Gerald works as a senior sales executive at Leonia Inclusive Company. Then this Frank Smith is Gerald's regional manager at Leonia Company. So Gerald is the his worker and he is the regional manager. This is the scenario. Then Gerald was given a position a position in China for 2 years, but this Gerald is not very sure, but he is not interested to go to that to go to China due to his personal reasons. So what are his personal reasons are? Uh, I think there are, because due to his personal reasons he is not interested. Gerald is not interested to go to China, but Frank is persuading him. You go to China, you have a lot of offers. So what is he telling? Why he is not going? Gerald, because he has two children studying in school and they are well settled and he is happy with the current job and the current place. So also Gerald knows that his working wife would not be too happy. His wife will not be happy if he go to China because all the family is here. So he is thinking all these things, but his Frank is persuading him. So then Frank's boss has given the responsibility, but this Frank's boss given responsibility, you tell Gerald, Gerald has to go to China for 2 years to take up a new position. Then in that case, Frank and Gerald are communicating, and this Frank is telling to Gerald that if you go to China, you have good salary and you will get a good position, and like that he is telling something, and he is persuading Gerald. So this is an example. So you can see this this Frank and Frank persuades Gerald to take up the offer in China, but Frank persuades Gerald means Frank what he is telling actually Gerald is not interested to go, but he is persuading Gerald to take up the offer. So this is the power of persuasion, which means you need to tell to your employee so that he has to go. So you need to motivate him. You need to motivate him, or you need to say politely what are the advantages. All these things you should persuade him so that he will go to that location. So this is the power of persuasion. So you should also have this kind of capability in your life. The next one is decision making. So what is decision making? It is a simple definition is the process of examining your possibilities, options, comparing them, and choosing a good course of action. So that is nothing but decision making. Examining your possibility options, comparing them, and choosing a good action. So that is decision making. So decision making is a choice between two or more available alterations. It was given by Samuel C. Sarto in the year 2007. So it is a process of choosing the best alternative from various available options. So decision making can also be defined as the process of choosing between alternatives to achieve a specific goal. Okay, it was given by Manmohan Prasad 2003. Then what are the factors that affects decision making? Perception, priority, acceptability, risk, resources, goals, values, demands, style, and judgment. So these are all the factors that will affect the decision making. So I already told you there are 6 C's of if you have a good communication, you need to develop the 6 C's. The 6 C's are like it is given here: compile, construct, collect, compare, consider, and commit. So similar to that, this is different actually. So construct, compile, collect, compare, consider, and commit. So these are all the 6 C's. This will it gives you a good decision making. So first one is construct a clear picture of precisely what must be decided. So construct a clear picture. So what should be decided? Then compile a list of requirements that must met. So what are the requirements should be met? So compile it. Then collect the information. So what are the different alternatives and available to meet the requirements? So that is collecting the information. Next one is compare. So after collecting, compare the alternatives that will meet your requirements. Then consider what might go wrong. Suppose with these alternatives, what will go wrong? So that one you should consider. Then after doing all these things, finally make a decision. So we'll go with this option. So these are all the 6 C's you should think before making a good decision. The next one is teamwork and collaboration. So what is meant by teamwork? So teamwork and collaboration both will work together. So what is teamwork? Teamwork, the process of is nothing but the process of diverse group of individuals pooling their resource and skills to work together and achieve a common goal. So what is teamwork? Means a group of people are working together to achieve a desired goal or a common goal. So that is nothing but teamwork. So in simplest form, it is nothing but team of people working effectively to achieve a common goal. So that is teamwork. Second. Yes. Okay. So next, we can also say teamwork as together everyone achieve more. So team we can say it as together everyone achieves more. So if you work together as a group, we can achieve more. So that is another meaning for team. There is also another meaning, total effort from all members. So team we can say it as total effort from all members. So that is team. Then example for team is athletic team, cricket team, volunteer team, business team, quality improvement team. There are various teams are available. So what are there are several stages of team development. First, you can see these pictures. First, you are putting seed into the soil. Then the plant is grow little. You need to pour water. So you need to take care of that plant continuously. Then after some days, a small tree will come. Then you need to take care of this tree from like cows and goats should not eat that, so that because it will damage. Then if you take care of all these things, finally you will get a big tree. There you will find good fruits, apples, everything you can get. So these are all the stages of team development. Like this way you need to work as a team. We have to monitor each and every time, each and every stages. So what is teamwork? It is the ability to work together towards a common objective. What is collaboration? Collaboration is the action of working with someone to produce something. That is collaboration. Or in short, how does this teamwork and collaboration will work together? Means it starts with a team. A team is a set of people with a range of different skills. So the team members are having, each person is having different skills. He is good in some field, another person is good in some field. Okay, they will work together, or they will collaborate together to for the improvement of the company, or for the growth of the company. So that is in that way teamwork and collaboration will work together. Okay. So in simple terms, teamwork is simply just a team collaborating with each other to reach a common goal. So in simple words, we can say like this: teamwork and collaboration we can combine as like this. Then, so why teamwork and collaboration works well? Because if teamwork and collaboration is there, then we'll have a proper output, or we'll have some what to say, we'll have an proper outcome we can get. We can go to the achieve the proper target. So means effectiveness will be more high, or efficiency will be very high if you do teamwork and collaboration together. So means the whole is greater than sum of its parts. So that is what teamwork and collaboration means works well. Yeah. The next one is objective effectiveness. So what is meant by effectiveness and what is meant by efficiency? What is efficiency? Efficiency means doing things right. Is doing things right, that is efficiency. Effectiveness is doing the right things. Okay, efficiency is doing things right, effectiveness is doing the right things. So this is the difference between this efficiency and effectiveness. So we have to do the right things, we have to do effectively. So if you want to say the concept of this efficiency and effectiveness, you need to remember this POS, like creating a space, being organized, working at place. So we need to understand this POS. Okay, so we'll see what is this meant by creating space, what is meant by being organized, what is working at pace. So what are the things has to be done in these three items, that is three components, POS components. First one, working at pace. What is working at pace? We should work on a proper time scale. So we have to fix the time scale and we have to work accordingly. So create some interest in your work. Then work with minimum of use. Okay, so these things has to be considered at pace, working at pace. Then being organized. So being organized, we have to organize in a proper way. So you should how to start, where to start. Okay, so which one is having highest priority, give that one most priority. Then so this work, do it regularly and manage your time well. Then creating space. So creating space means do not be rigid. Okay, give some, you also has to say something, you also need to get the inputs from the others. So that is nothing but creating space, and try to finish the task on time. So this is nothing but creating space. The next one is problem solving. So this problem solving, so what is going to be problem solving? Solving the problem, right? So the process of working through details of a problem to reach a solution. Suppose if you have some problem, so you have to work together in order to find a solution. So first one is, you need to, there are 6 stages you should solve a problem. So those 6 stages are: identify a problem. Okay, identify a problem, what is problem. Okay, where it is happening, that is define the problem, understand the problem, identify the root cause, corrective action, monitor. So what is in by problem? So you should think about these 6 things. So what is the problem, where it is happening, how it is happening, when is it happening, why is it happening, who is affected, or who is interested in solving in it. So let us take an example. So there is, the pizza shop is there. So pizza is pizza is running very well, but we are receiving, even though it is running well, we are receiving various complaints that always pizza is delivered 15 minutes late, 20 minutes late. So like that, the complaint we are getting. So for that, you need to find where is the problem. So identify the problem. What is the problem? Pizza is delivered is late. So define the problem, then understand. So what is the root cause? If the pizza delivered to the customer late means, so what is the root cause? Only the delivery person. So the delivery person has to, we have to motivate him. So try to deliver it properly, so that uh, uh, so that so that we can solve the problem, and we have to monitor those things properly. Then we need to do that. It's a cyclic process. We need to do that continuously, so that we can solve a problem. I think problem solving you might have understood. Then next one, conflict resolution, or what is in by conflict. So what is in by conflict? It is nothing but a serious argument or disagreement. So that is nothing but a conflict. So a natural part of life and relationships. So if you have a life, if you say something, surely other person will oppose you. What you are saying is wrong, what I am saying is right. So there is a conflict arises. But how to solve this type of conflicts? Okay, so that we will see in the upcoming slides. So you can see this. So how to solve the conflict? There are 4 proven steps that can be taken to resolve a conflict. So you can see the right side figure. One is asking for, there is 2 dogs, 2 persons. Let us take. One is telling peace, I want peace. Another one is telling war. But we need to talk to the 2 people politely, okay, and so that we need to get some compromise between them. So this is also some kind of uh, ability that person has to develop. But uh, how to make a resolution, how to find the solution for the conflict? So there are 4 steps in the upcoming slides, which will by which we can uh, resolve the conflict. Okay, so those 4 steps are given in the upcoming slides. First one, so means before going to that, so what are the seriousness will come if there is a conflict? Okay, what are the dangers will come to us? So it can damage our relationship, lead to an escalation. When if we keep on talking, so if suppose let us take a life, always you will get some problem with you and your wife. So how will you tackle that problem? Either you will keep quiet or your wife will keep quiet. So when you keep quiet or when you sit and think, then this can be avoided. So if both of you are talking, then it will lead to stress and it will result in the danger. So we'll see what are the steps so that we can avoid that conflict. First step, first one is stop and think. Okay, if any conflict arises, so if suppose let us take our example, if I have some problem with me and my wife, first we should sit and think. So what is the problem? Whether the problem is due to me or because of her. So we should think. We should first stop and think. Then the second step, redirect. Redirect in the sense, there are 2 parts. Arguing will need to be stopped and redirected. So means we should not argue. Both of you should not argue. So what we should do is, nothing can be solved until the conflict is directed. So we should have some useful discussion. So what is the problem? What is how it arises? So that one we should think. So be a leader and direct the argument into a fruitful discussion, or negotiate a pause or a break in the conflict. So we should not go in the wrong way. We have to sit and discuss in a productive way so that the conflict can be avoided. Then step number 3, investigate. So investigate means where the problem arises. If there is a problem between me and wife, where the problem arises, it is due to her or it is due to me, or it is due to the kids. So we have to investigate. So I mean, these are all the things you should consider. So both sides should have the opportunity to respectfully. For a first one, explain their point of view. We should means we should give some explain. We should explain our point of view and how they feel. Be willing to listen. Listen to your wife's voice without interrupting. Keep the discussion focused on the real problem. Then don't let the discussion become sidetracked on old unrelated issues or personal attacks. So this is third step, that is investigation. The next one, fourth step, find a solution. So after discussing, investigating, uh, stop and thinking, so all these things, you will get a solution. You will find a solution. Okay, so you will need to work together to find a solution. So if problem arises, both of you sit and work together to find a solution. Be willing to make some compromises, because that is how good arguments can be made. So be positive and encouraging. Show leadership. When an agreement is reached, shake the person's hand and show them. Suppose if some problem arises, once you find a solution, then you both of you will discuss that. Hereafter, I will not discuss about these things. I will not. You also don't discuss about these things like that. We need to have a good compromise with each other so that we can avoid the conflict. Then negotiation. So last before one is negotiation. So negotiation is a discussion among individuals to reach an alternative to satisfy all. So it is like suppose we after doing all these things, so somebody has to withdraw. Somebody has to withdraw. Either we have to withdraw or the wife has to withdraw. If we take a family, so means we need to satisfy all. So some cases we need to discuss politely. Some cases we need to discuss not politely. Okay, so uh, so these things we have to develop. So sometimes we need to do negotiation. Means negotiation is nothing but the discussion among individuals to reach an alternative to satisfy all. Whereas discussion means simply the exchange of one ideas, thoughts, and opinions with each other and not arguing. So we should have some good communication skills and interpersonal skills to have a effective negotiation. So this also we need to understand about this if you are working in a organization. Then last one is tolerance. So what is tolerance? This tolerance comes from the Latin word tolerate, which means to bear, to suffer. So psychologists claim that tolerance means respecting other people's beliefs or way of living. So tolerance means respecting the others people's beliefs or ways of living. So we should also think in uh, this also in our mind in order to have a good life. Then how tolerance is treated by others. So treated by teachers. So teachers at school should tolerate clothes or haircuts of their pupils, but they must not tolerate their wrong behavior towards other peoples or themselves, swear words or any other form of intolerance. So in order to make the school society work properly, there is a need for mutual tolerance between the pupils and teachers. It's the only way to reach an agreement and avoid conflicts. So up to this, I have completed my lecture. I have completed that 13 essential interpersonal skills that we should develop in order to have a healthy conversation and in order to have a good growth in our organization, in any organization. So these 13 points has to be remembered in life in order to have a in order to live a good life. So that's it. I'm going to I'm completing my presentation. So if you have any queries, you can talk to me or you can ask me. Is there any queries, sir? Any questions, please?